So first we're going to start with getting data out of the computer, out of the operations center and out to your display. This assumes that you've already done kind of the footwork of loading your machines, your client farms and fields, and all of your products. So once you're here, the landing page is the map. You see your farm here on the page. First thing you'd want to do to start a setup file is go to the Tools button in the top left and scroll down to the tool titled Setup Builder. So when Setup Builder loads, you'll see a few things across the top. There's some tabs, and each of these tabs is going to be a different step into the process. So right now, step 1 would be to select your display type and give it a name. So we will name this file Data Video. This is going to be a new file, so we'll go ahead in the bottom right hand corner and push Start. So now we're on tab 2 of Land. This is all your client farms and fields, and you'll notice a lot of consistency between all these tabs. You'll see a black filter box on the side where you can filter down to certain products or machines and fields. Down at the bottom you'll see an Add button, so if you find that you're missing something you can add it by pushing that button. And then on this particular tab, you'll see with these different fields that each of them is a drop down to where it will show you each asset that is part of each field. So in this north field, you see that there's a boundary, there's a field note that may be a flag or something, and then there's 3 guidance lines. So for this example, we'll go ahead and select all, and then in the top right, you might note that there's an include variety locator. So if this is going out to a combine, we would probably want to check that, and it's going to populate all of our crops that are in each field. Go ahead and push Next. Next tab is for equipment. Again, you see the filter box on the side. One additional thing on this page is a toggle between machines and implements. So we'll go ahead and select all machines, toggle over to implements. And you do need to select one of each for each of those, a machine and an implement, to be able to get past this step. Click Next. And products is all of your seeding varieties, all of your spraying chemicals, and even tank mixes. You can see tank mixes and all of the ingredients into there. So we'll go ahead and select all tank mixes and all products. Push Next again. And these are your operators, so if you keep track of your operators, you can select them there. Next again, and then you get to the Summary tab, and that basically is just telling you what you just did. So we selected a GS3 or Gen 4 file, we named it Data Video, so we'll go ahead and select Create File, and it's telling us that the setup file is being created. So from here, we need to click on this Go to Files Manager button. When the Files Manager page loads, you're going to see all the files coming in and out of the Operations Center. Your newest file is always going to be on top, so the file that we just made that was called Data Video is going to be right there on top, and you can see that the text is kind of gray instead of a dark black or green, and that's because the file is still processing. So for this example, I've already created a separate test file that we'll go ahead and use for here. So to select the file, check the box, and then there's 3 things you can do. Number 1 would be transfer to equipment. So if you have JD Link on any piece of equipment, it's going to show you those pieces of equipment. You can select it and send it wirelessly over the air. We're not going to do that in this example. Second thing you can do is push download. Number 1, you can select to download it to the John Deere Data Manager, which is a tool that you download to your computer, and it writes the file in the correct format on the USB drive. The last thing you can do, probably the easiest, is just download to your desktop or device. So we'll go ahead and do that. You're going to see it pop up in the bottom left-hand corner, and we'll select that. As you can see, it's in my Downloads folder right now. All I need to do is click and drag that folder to my USB drive, which I've already stuck into my computer, and it's going to transfer it to the USB drive. Once it's on the USB drive, you'll see the folder called GS3_2630. If we open that up, we'll see our file that we just sent there, which was called test2. Another thing I added to this USB drive was the RX folder. So if you are putting prescriptions into a setup file, it needs to be, all of your prescriptions need to be in a folder on the root menu of the USB drive, and the folder needs to be called RX. So once it's on the USB drive, you take it out to your machine, load it into your display, and do all your field work. Once you're ready to bring the data back into the computer, you stick in your USB drive and export it off like you normally would. If you have JD Link, you don't even need to do that. It's going to send the data back to the computer automatically and wirelessly, so you don't need to do anything. If you're putting it onto a USB drive, carry it back to your computer, stick it in, and then you will open up from your desktop a tool called John Deere Data Manager. And this is a tool you have to download beforehand. Once you do, it's there. Open it up, stick your USB drive in, and it's going to look something like this. So from your From area, select this drop down, select Browse, and then you need to find your USB drive, which is right here. We'll select it, and then this bottom portion is going to load all the files that are on that USB drive. In this USB, we don't really have any files. If yours are coming straight from a combine or something, you're going to have a lot of harvest files in there that you'll see. So select your farm, which right now we're Greenmark Equipment, and we'll push Upload. Once it's uploaded, it'll give you a message saying Finished. You can come back into your Files Manager that we showed you before, and you'll see the file at the top of the page. And again, just like the setup file, it may be grayed out, which means it's still processing. Once it turns to a bold, dark text, that means it's done processing, and then you can go in and start analyzing all your data that you just loaded.